Hello and welcome. My name is Nancy. I am a small maker from Toowoomba in southeast Queensland, Australia. And this is my little space where I show you all my knitting and my sewing projects that I am making or have plans for. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. I have a lot to show you. I've been quite busy since I podcasted last. I really wanted to podcast last week, but we've been quite unwell, so I did not. But it made for lots of knitting time, so I've got lots to show you. I've got 3 finished projects to show you, but I had finished a 4th, but it was a gift. And then I've got some new makes on my needles, and I got some yarn in the mail recently, which I have exciting plans for, so I'd love to show you that as well. But I might start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing a Tardor vest, which is by Fabi Knits on Instagram and Ravelry. I tested this pattern, I want to say 2 winters ago now. I used a Drops Air in the blue. I'm not sure what colour was. I got it from another maker who's a bit allergic to alpaca. I'm very thankful because I've made 2 garments out of it now. And then I used a white Sanders Garn cos yarn for the ribbing because I wanted it to be a little bit different, and I think I might have run out of the blue, or not had enough blue for the ribbing anyway. So yeah, and then I used some of my own handmade resin buttons, and they are a glittery white, which you can't really see the glitter right now, but they are, and they are fantastic. I love this. I didn't wear it at all last winter, and I think that's because it didn't fit, but now it does fit, and I have worn it quite a lot. I even blocked it last week again, or washed it, I should say, and washed and blocked because I was sick, and what else do you do when you're sick but block all your knits? The sun was out and it was nice. Yeah, I do have plans to make another really soon, and I'll show you the yarn for that later, but let's get on to all of my finished makes. So, you will have seen these in my last podcast, and I am so glad they are finally finished. These are my eggs upper Easter socks from Stone Knits. They have this really beautiful chicken on them, and then really cute little like fried egg details on the foot. I love these. So I tried to make these for Easter, and I got a bit of sock fatigue. And they were just sitting in a project bag, and I told myself I had to finish these before I started another project, which I will show you, which I'm also very excited about. And I'm so glad I just pushed myself. My husband had an appointment in Brisbane last week, so I took them with me, and I think I'd knit to about here on the second sock, so I just powered through and I finished it in the car. I did this little gorgeous, might be better on this one, double, or I can't think of the word for it. You knit over the top for the beak and the little goblet thing. Yeah, I made these in, oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's yarn that I dyed myself from the Nundle Wool Mill in New South Wales. I used 2 different greens to achieve, I'm not sure if it's showing on screen, but, and I'm really sorry about the light. My sewing room is a bit of a dungeon, and with the blinds open, it's way too glary, and then it's almost a bit dark without them open. But it is this really, well, maybe that's more it. It's this really beautiful mint color. I used 2 different greens to achieve that. The egg top was left over from my Field of Sunflower socks, and then I made this really beautiful brown. Yeah, so most of the other socks that I've seen on Ravelry with this pattern have a darker sock and a white or a really light bird, but my chickens aren't white, and I thought it would be nice to have something a bit different, so I decided to have to do brown chickens, and I don't regret it. The only thing I might have done differently is maybe make the leg a bit longer. So these are quite short socks, which made for really quick knitting, but I would have liked longer socks. I do have a nice pair of Birks I could wear them with, so it's not a complete waste, and I do love them. They're so soft and they'll be very warm, and it is now sock weather, so I'm excited about that. Yeah. The next thing I'm going to show you, I talked about in my last podcast, and I am so happy it's finished. And I will show you something else in my makes when I get to my works in progress that will match this. But it is, and drumroll please, the stripe overload jumper in the kids version. Oh, I'm so excited with it. It is super fun. It's a great knit. It's knit on size 5mm needle, so it knits up so quick. I used what did I use? I used a Tilia and a Peruvian Highland wool, which I got from Finland. Oh, I love it. I will post a little photo here of my son when I was making it. He was not impressed, and I think it was because it was still really warm, and this is quite a warm jumper. So I made him the size 2, and it fits great. I was really worried when I was knitting it that it wasn't going to fit widthwise, but it does. It's sort of blocked out really nicely. Yeah, so I can't wait for us to wear matching jumpers, and I'll show you that soon. Yeah, I highly recommend this jumper. It's very easy, and it's I guess it's a heavyweight. It's a 10 ply and a 2 ply lace, so it's I guess a 12 bulky. So it knits up really quick. Great for winter. And then the next thing I have to show you is, of course, a vest, because as you know, I love vests. This is the Hilda slipover, that pattern and this pattern are by Spectacle. This is amazing. I had not done or finished a full colorwork project yet, apart from socks, because everything else is still on the needles. So I love this. It is a little bit scratchy, and that's a yarn choice. I used a one of the substitute yarns because I couldn't find the other that they suggested, and it is the Sand Garns Fritz Garn, and it's a pure wool, I'm pretty sure, 100% wool. It's quite scratchy, and I wouldn't want a full jumper in this. I watched a podcast yesterday from somebody else who was talking about the zipper sweater man, and this is the recommended yarn choice for that, and I would not want this as a on my body without anything underneath it. It is quite scratchy. It did soften in the vest a little bit, but I wore it all day the other day, and it around the neck it was a bit itchy. So it might even be better with a turtleneck. It's also because it's colorwork and a lot of the body is like two strands, because you knit one and one's floating. It is really thick and really dense. So it makes for a warm vest, but you wouldn't want to wear it with a t-shirt or by itself, because it's quite scratchy. They're my opinions, and I have heard other people have those opinions too. But a yarn choice to think about if you were going to make something like this. So I made the 4th size, I think, which I think is a size large. I probably didn't do enough of the colorwork up the back, and when you're holding it up, it does sort of, the front goes over the back. I just really wanted it to be finished at that point. And I was really worried I was going to run out of the pink, so I ordered 5 balls of the beige color, 2 of the pink and 2 of the purple. I used nothing of the purple basically, and I used 4 of the beige and almost all of the pink. I didn't really think about it when I was doing it properly, but anyway, I do love it, and it's my first vest for me of the year, which I'm super excited about. It could have been a bit longer. It's knit bottom up, and then you separate into front and back, and then you separate into up here. And I'd never done a bottom up project before, so some learning curves there. Purling color work is not fun. Anyway, it is finished and I love it and I will wear it, and hopefully it softens with another wash a bit more. I would maybe pick something a bit different next time to make it a nicer vest, but I don't hate it, so yeah. And then I also made my my best friend's little boy for his 4th birthday a or maybe it's his fifth birthday. How's he 5? I made him a little weekender beanie, which I'll pop a photo of here. I can't show you that because I gifted it to him and he wears it all the time. Ruby helped me pick the color. I had some hand-dyed yarn in my stash that I had dyed for another project that never got done. Yeah, and he loves it, which makes me happy. Makes me happy for things that I gift away to be used. So that is all I have finished knitting. I have done a little bit of sewing, but not a lot. Nothing worth showing you. So I guess I can show you my works in progress, and some of these I'm super excited about. I might start with my longest, well, not my longest, but one of my longest works in progress. I have decided to put my Alpenglow sweater on. It's in the sin bin up here, actually. Just hibernating because it doesn't fit really well. I would like it to fit, but we're not talking about weight loss here. So it's just staying in my cube shelf for a while. As for my soldatona crop, I have finished knitting the body. Oh, sorry, it's been also in the sin bin, shoved in a progress bag. I have knit the bulk of the body and I'm now onto sleeves. This pattern is not one that calls for sleeves, so I have a little bit of working out what I'm going to do. I think I've been decreasing every inch or so, which might be 2 repeats of the seed stitch, or maybe 3. And it's tight. So I've been, oh, sorry, I've got a really itchy nose from the mohair happening here. I have been searching through Ravelry posts on this particular post, and anybody who has knit with sleeves has either not written any notes, or they've written notes in a different language, so I can't read it. So it's, oh, I'm sorry, I'm still a bit snotty. So it's really hard to decide what I'm going to do with the sleeves. This also is a jumper I knit in a size 3 and probably should have knit in a size 4. It does fit, but it has like no positive ease. So I have had it just in its bag in a different spot, sin bin really, because I don't have the mental energy to deal with what I'm going to do with the sleeves. I could just rip out the sleeve here and go back to make it a cropped, but I really don't see the purpose of this being a sleeveless jumper. So I've been watching I've been watching some podcasts on people in the Northern Hemisphere and their beautiful summer makes, and they all talk about yarn choices and merino being not a good choice for summer. And I live in southeast Queensland, which has hot summers, so I really don't see the purpose in that being a short sleeve. I also don't like, I don't know, I've looked at a lot of photos where people wear it under a long sleeve shirt, and I don't like that look for that jumper. I don't understand why you would make a nice colorwork project like that and only make it short sleeve. So it will continue to just be, maybe also in hibernation, until I can work out what I'm going to do with it. But I've got lots of other plans, so it sort of has just stayed in its bag, and it'll probably stay down here now that I've brought it down. I've got 2 other projects in the works, and these 2 I've been working on quite a bit. So as it's gotten really cold here in Queensland, I thought it would be nice to make myself a pair of gloves. If you watched my last podcast, you'll know I made myself a pair of penny gloves, and they ended up being 2 different sizes because I broke my interchangeable wooden needles, and then I bought metal needles because that's all I could get. And then the gauge was very different. Well, I left them on the windowsill over here, and they sun bleached the bigger glove, so I have thrown them in the bin. I know it's an awful waste, but that was scrap yarn that I used, which I would not have had enough of to finish the other one anyway. But then I decided, looking through somebody else's beautiful makes on Ravelry, I don't know if anyone else does it. I click on a photo in a post I'm looking at, and then I click on the person and I go through all their previous makes, and it's nice to find different patterns. And I came across these November Knits gloves. They are a 3x1 rib glove, and I just used a leftover yarn that I had from a different project. I think I made my cousin's daughter a vest in this set of mohair. And I have finished one and started the, holy dooly, let's ignore all that extra yarn there. And I have started the bottom, so it's bottom up. I knit it a 1/2 inch shorter, or 1 inch shorter here, but then I knit it longer here so that it was almost covering my pinky. And I'll probably work on these on the weekend. We're going to Warwick to see a friend, so I will take them in the car with me to knit. When I weighed this, I had 18 grams for this whole glove, and then in my leftover bit was only 17, 18 grams. So I have this feeling I'm not going to have enough. And in that case, the thumb might just be a different color. I have something similar, but a bit darker pink. So I will just use that if I happen to run out of yarn, which I think I'm very much going to. But it will be nice to have them finished. I have lots of night duties this roster coming, so if I don't get them finished on Sunday, I am sure I will get them finished overnight at work at some point. If you work with me, you will know what I mean. So that is them. And then that brings me to my last work in progress, and something I have been knitting frantically while being sick. And it is you might have guessed, a stripe overload polo for me. I freaking love this jumper so much. It is going to be amazing. It is like a big warm hug. I'm very excited about it. So the only thing I did different was I started with the orange for me, and on Ruby's I started his with the blue, just so that they could be a little bit different. I love this so much already. I have about a centimeter left before I start the ribbing for the bottom. And then I have ordered some small short interchangeable needles to do the arm, so I can just go round and round rather than magic looping it. I love it. I somehow ended up with too many stitches when I separated the sleeves. I ended up with too many stitches on the front, 1 too many stitches on the back, and 2 too many stitches on one of the sleeves. I'm not sure how it happened because I can't see in the raglan increases where I've accidentally double increased. And when I had knit the increases fast. I did that in like 2 days, and my hands were really sore. And I thought, you know what? Stuff it. I'm just going to leave it, and we'll work it out at the end. I'm not sure that 3 stitches on the body and 2 stitches on a sleeve are going to make much difference. And I've worked that out at the end, so I'm not even worried about. And maybe if it had been 10 stitches of difference, I would have been really worried. But I'm really excited that this is going so fast. And again, I think that's because it's basically a bulky on size 5s. So it knits up quick. I can't wait for this to be finished. This is going to be so nice. Oh, I really recommend everyone should make this. I love the collar detail. I love my color choice. I just love orange and blue together. They are opposites on the color wheel, so they are quite contrasting. I am probably more excited because I made my son one as well. Yeah. I had bought yarn last year and I made him a vest, and then I never made myself the matching vest, or maybe the year before. Anyway, so it'd be nice to have something matching. If you have kids, you might know what I mean. But that should definitely be finished by the next time I podcast. Super excited about that. I also they are in Peruvian Highland wool and Atelier by Filipina. And I made the size 3. So I was looking at the measurements, and I'm not really good with positive ease and picking my size. I don't know if that comes from sewing or a lifetime of body issues. But I had a look at photos and it looks very oversized, and I figured the size 3 would be fine, and that if it wasn't, I would rip it out before I went past the raglan. Or actually, I would have just knit 2 extra raglans, because the sizing only changes because you add 2 extra raglan increases, and that makes it bigger around the bust. But it fits, and it fits really well. So I'm going to leave it at that size and keep going. I'm almost finished. Maybe I'll be stuck on Sleeve Island. I'm not really sure yet. I'm really sorry. I feel like I'm talking really quick. I just have a lot to say. Yeah. I have some yarn here to show you. I also decided that this year I would not make projects I'm not happy with, and this here is my first holiday slipover, which I unraveled, and it is all together. So this is still 2 strands of the Sandagarn cos and my mohair, and I'm not sure if it might have pulled out a bit, but I think I might try and re-knit it. So when I knit my first holiday slipover, which I'll put a photo up here of, it was one of my first projects. It was my second handmade project, and all my knit stitches were twisted. So, and you could really see it because it's quite a loose ply vest. So I thought I loved it as a vest, and it was really noticeable where you because you go up from the back and then you do the fronts and then you join in around. It was really noticeable. My gauge changed between there and here, so I just decided I would reknit it. When I will get to it, I have no idea, but I will because I loved it. We should be trying to keep our projects forever, I guess. Not forever, until they fall apart. Now I have some acquisitions. I got some new yarn this week, and then I ordered some more yarn to go with the yarn I got. But first of all, I will show you the yarn I got. So Wool and Works Chloe from Wool and Works had a new release, and I couldn't go past these 2 beautiful yarns. So this is called Candy Sky. It has beautiful pinks and oranges and purples. I'm not really a purple fan, but I love the oranges and the pinks together. So I got 3 balls of this on a DK Super Roche Reno. And then I got some of the Pink Petal Pie, which is also really beautiful. And I got this on a mohair base. I got 2 balls of this also. And then I decided that I wanted to make another Tardor vest, and that I would use this Candy Sky DK. And this pattern calls for a 10 ply. So I emailed the Maker store and asked if because they carry Chloe's yarn in store, and I asked them if they could match me some mohair with the Candy Sky, and they didn't disappoint. I had been looking online as to what color I might pick. And this definitely wasn't the color I would have picked. This color, oh gosh, now it's not on here. I can't remember what this color was called, but I'll put it up here. It's a really, I think it was Coral Bliss actually. It's not a color I would have picked, but I think it will go together really well. And I'm really excited about it. So this will be my next cast on. I would love this to wear on my birthday, which is on the 1st of July. And I think that that's achievable. Once my jumper is finished, or if I finish the body and have to wait a little while for the short interchangeables, I will start this and then finish that when they arrive. Yeah, I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait for you to see it when it's finished. And then I also asked them to match me a 4-ply to go with my mohair, and they also didn't disappoint. They suggested either beige or the baby pink, and I decided that I would pick the baby pink so that it could be more feminine. Also because I already have a vest in a white with one of Chloe's mohairs, and it's nice too. So I have a couple of patterns I'm looking at. My original plan was to make a Stockholm slipover in this by Petite Knit. I also talked in my last podcast about how I really wanted another vest number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I don't know if I want that in this. I think I might go with the Stockholm slipover. Or there's a vest called the Sarah vest, which I will put a photo up here. And I can't remember who that's by, but it's a free pattern. But I'm just thinking it might be a bit better on with a plain yarn. And I do have some blue in my stash that I could use for that. But I'm very excited for this as well. I love vests so much. It gets cold here, but it doesn't get freezing cold. I mean, it does, but it's not in the same way that, say, North America would get cold, or even South Australia, southern parts of Australia. We don't get snow, and we haven't had frost yet. I know my friends in Warwick have had quite a lot of frost. So yeah, I just like a vest more than I do a more than a jumper. I think they're more versatile, and you can layer them. So yeah. I also have one other thing I want to show you. So I plan on making my best friend for her birthday a pair of penny gloves, and I asked her what color she might be interested in. She said mint. So I and it's really hard to see, I'm sorry. I hand dyed this beautiful Nunderwool 4-ply. I think it was a sock base, and I'm going to hopefully make this with a pair of into a pair of penny gloves. The penny glove pattern suggests a 5-ply or a sport, and this is quite a there's so much mohair in the air. This is quite a thick 4-ply sock compared to other socks I've used, so I'm just going to start them and see what happens. They might be a bit big, they might not. I might have to go up a needle size, but I will start them and I will see what happens. So that concludes all of the things I have got knitting wise. I mentioned before that we went to Brisbane for an appointment for my husband last week, and I really only went so that I could go to the fabric shop, and it was a nightmare with a 2-year-old. Please don't take a 2-year-old to a fabric shop like that. But my husband's appointment literally took 2 minutes, and he came and rescued me and let me have a little bit of a shop while he was there. While we were there, sorry. So I'm going to show you some fabric things I got and tell you about my plans for them. So I'm so sorry, so much mohair. I got some beautiful black linen, and I'm going to make my brother a pair of trig shorts. His birthday was on Tuesday, and I had planned on making them last week, but we were too sick. So they are, hopefully today's plan is to make a pair of trig shorts. He is another person I love making things for because he always wears them. He has literally worn the pockets out of a pair of trig shorts I made him years ago, which excites me. And then I bought some of this beautiful bone gingham. And I plan on making a Gilbert top out of this for summer. We are going to Perth in November for a wedding, and I would like to make myself a little capsule wardrobe, and I think this will go just nicely. I don't know why I'm such a sucker for light colors at the moment, because they attract food from a 2-year-old like lint to a dryer. I also got, and this was a bit of an impulse right at the end, and it'll be really hard to see, but this cotton which has, oh, there we go, it's got this really beautiful gold stripe through it. It's very narrow, so I've got 2 meters of it, and hopefully I'll be able to get myself a shirt out of it in something, maybe a Ashton top with sleeves, or a Donny shirt, or a Gilbert shirt, one of those in that, hopefully. Then I saw this linen and I could not walk past it. It is, and the camera doesn't do it justice, it's really pink, that's about right. It is this beautiful pink, and it will make something amazing for summer. I have no plans for this just yet, but to be a dress, it'll be a dress. It's so beautiful, I love it. I got 3 meters of this, and it does have a little imperfection at the end. It's got like a line through it, but I'm sure I can work around that. Then I got 2.5 meters of this beautiful denim. It is a green color, and I think it was a 10 ply, 12 ply. No, it might have been a 12 ounce, sorry. And I plan to make myself some overalls out of this. So excited about it. I thought I might make myself some Merchant Mills Harleen overalls, but I've had a lot of problems with Merchant Mills patterns before. I think their sizing is really lazy for fat people, which is me, and that doesn't impress me. So I'm just gonna stash it for a little bit and have a think about it, and then maybe at the end of winter I'll make myself some spring overalls, and I will keep you posted on what pattern I pick. I've made the Yantas before as well. My last pair of Yantas I have worn a lot, but my body has changed again since I made them. I made them when I was breastfeeding. I went up and then down. So I'm not sure what pattern I will use for these. I know there's lots of patterns out there. I think I've got the Jenny overalls from Closet Core as well, but I think my body is far bigger than when I bought that pattern, and I don't know that I would actually fit in their sizing because it's not one they have extended. So I will stash this and decide later. And then, because I can't help myself being sick and at home, I ordered some of this really beautiful Ellie Whittaker linen cotton. It's got beautiful little seahorses on it. I ordered 1.5 meters of this, and I am definitely going to turn this into a Gilbert top for summer. So buttons down the front, beautiful collar. I'm super excited for this as well. They are the only fabric things I have to show you. Underneath the camera in my tubs there is a bucket load of other fabrics that I should definitely use this year. I'm going to try and buy less. I'm going to try and buy nothing in June, actually. As you can see over here, I've got more than enough to keep myself busy. I think that fabric shopping and making are very different hobbies. Clearly, if you could see my fabric around, you would agree. It is nice having a 2-year-old though to make things for. That is all though that I have to show you. I'm just double checking that I've shown you everything. That's all I have to show you for now. Oh, actually, no, I haven't. I put some stuff over here as well. This is a project, it's also sewing, that I'm going to be working on between now and Christmas. So My extended family, my dad's side, do a big Christmas, and there's about 30 of us that all get together on Boxing Day. And it is my husband and I, it's our turn to host Christmas this year for the first time. And I would really love to make some placemats using this vintage Christmas book by Lori Holt. She has so many different pieces, and I won't use all of them. I'll just use the really nice ones. And in her book, if you've seen Lori Holt books before, at the back she's got bits where they show you how to make the placemats, and then the placemats turn out really great. So my mum has this ginormous basket, and it's very heavy, so I'm not going to lift it up, of fabric scraps and offcuts in Christmas fabric, and then I've got some offcuts as well, and I'm going to use them. So I'm going to try and not buy any more Christmas fabric to make them, and I will hopefully make one a week for a while, and I will show you them in my podcasts every week, or every time I podcast. I definitely don't podcast weekly. I'm a mum of a 2-year-old. I don't have time for that. So I will show you them as they get made. I'm very excited about them. Yeah, so that is definitely all I have to tell you this month, I guess. I've really been podcasting monthly recently. I would love to know what you thought of my makes or my plans. And if you are thinking about Christmas already, as today is the 1st of June, which is bloody mad. I don't know how. It's halfway through the year already. It's very scary. So I'm going to call it there. I will see you next time. Thank you for coming and watching and spending 45 minutes with me. Please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye.